The Golden Boot, the award given to the top scorer at the World Cup. An accolade that sits alongside the Golden Ball and the trophy itself as one of the three most coveted prizes the tournament produces. And at the 2026 World Cup, the race for it is one of the most open, most statistically compelling, and most genuinely exciting individual contests in recent tournament history. The modern era has been defined by one player in this regard. Kylian Mbappe won the Golden Boot in 2018 with 6 goals in Russia. He won it again in 2022 with 8 goals in Qatar, including a hat-trick in the final. No player in the modern era has dominated this prize the way Mbappe has. And yet, for the first time in 2 tournaments, he arrives with genuine competition. Because the 2026 World Cup field contains, perhaps for the first time in a generation, a cluster of world-class center forwards all arriving at the absolute peak of their powers simultaneously. 5 players with legitimate data-backed cases. 5 players with recent seasons that justify the conversation. 5 very different stories, 5 different national backdrops, and 1 prize. Welcome to Everything About Football. These are the Golden Boot candidates at the 2026 World Cup, and our assessment of who is most likely to win it. Erling Haaland, Norway, age 25. We begin with the statistical frontrunner, the man whose numbers, when you look at them properly, make every other argument slightly harder. Erling Haaland scored 16 goals in 8 qualifying matches for Norway. He scored in every single game. He averaged 2 goals per match across the entire qualifying campaign. No player from any confederation scored more goals in the road to the 2026 World Cup than Haaland. That qualifying tally alone, 16, is more than most World Cup Golden Boot winners have scored in the entire tournament. He arrives in North America with 55 international goals in 49 appearances. His conversion rate at international level is better than 1 goal per game across his entire Norway career. At club level this season, he scored 35 goals in all competitions for Manchester City, winning the Premier League Golden Boot with 24 goals and finishing as one of the most prolific players in European football for the 4th consecutive season. He is 25 years old. He has never played at a World Cup. He has described this tournament as the most important moment of his career. That combination, elite form, historic qualifying numbers, the hunger of a man at his first tournament, is uniquely powerful. Norway play in Group 1 alongside France, Senegal, and Iraq. Haaland will be the focal point of everything Norway do offensively. Their build-up, their set pieces, their transitions, all of it channels toward number 9. In a tournament where the Golden Boot often goes to the striker most central to their team's attack rather than the most famous name on the pitch, Haaland's centrality to Norway's system is a significant structural advantage. The concern is Norway's ceiling. If they go out in the group stage, Haaland may score 3 or 4 goals. Impressive, but potentially not enough. For Haaland to win the Golden Boot, Norway probably need to reach at least the quarterfinals, giving him 6 or 7 matches. Given their qualifying record, that is entirely achievable. But the path from Group I runs through some of the tournament's most dangerous teams. Kylian Mbappe, France, age 27. The defending Golden Boot holder. The player who has made this award feel like his personal property across the last 2 World Cups. And the man with the most extraordinary 2025-26 club season of any player in this group. Mbappe scored 24 goals in La Liga this season, winning the Golden Boot in Spain. He scored 15 goals in the Champions League, winning that Golden Boot too. He is the top scorer in La Liga and the top scorer in the Champions League in the same season. No outfield player in European football has been more prolific across 2025-26 than Kylian Mbappe. He arrives at the World Cup with 56 international goals for France and with 2 previous World Cup Golden Boots in his career. He has 14 World Cup goals across 2 tournaments. No active players close to that total. France play in Group 1 alongside Norway, Senegal, and Iraq. The final group game between France and Norway is already the most anticipated match of the group stage. A genuine clash between the 2 most dangerous strikers in the tournament. If France progress deep, and they are among the tournament's 3 strongest sides, Mbappe will score goals. The quality of supply around him, Dembélé, Olise, Barcola, Thuram, means he will rarely be isolated. The case against Mbappe is indirect. France's collective strength means the goal-scoring burden is distributed. He will not take every penalty, every free kick, every decisive touch. In a tournament where he might play 7 or 8 matches, that distribution might cap his individual tally. But his track record says do not bet against him. Harry Kane, England, age 32. There is a data point that deserves more attention than it typically receives in this conversation. Harry Kane scored 14 goals in the Champions League this season, finishing second only to Mbappe in the competition's top scorer standings despite Bayern Munich being eliminated in the semi-finals. He is the first Englishman in history to score 50 Champions League goals. He did it in this tournament in this calendar year against the best defenses in Europe. Kane is 32 years old. He is the all-time top scorer for England. He goes to major tournaments and scores goals, 6 at the 2018 World Cup, 3 at the 2022 World Cup. His finishing across all styles of play, right foot, left foot, headers, penalties, long-range efforts, is as complete as any striker in the world. England arrive at the 2026 World Cup as the third-ranked team in the tournament odds, with a squad assembled by Thomas Tuchel that is the deepest and most talented England have fielded at a World Cup since 1966. If England go deep, and they absolutely can, Kane will play 7 or 8 matches. That is 7 or 8 games of elite service delivered by Bellingham, Saka, Foden, and Rashford to a striker who does not miss. The argument for Kane specifically in the Golden Boot race comes from England's path. If they navigate the group and reach the quarterfinals, they will likely avoid both France and Norway until at least the last 4. That means 4 or 5 matches against opponents where Kane's physical and technical superiority will be a decisive factor. Goals in every round accumulating across the bracket, it is not the flashiest case. But it may be the most structurally sound. Lautaro Martinez, Argentina, age 28. Lautaro Martinez is often undervalued in these conversations, which is remarkable given what his numbers actually say. He scored 20 goals in all competitions for Inter Milan this season, 16 in Serie A alone, maintaining the consistency he has shown across 4 consecutive seasons as one of Europe's most clinical center forwards. He was the top scorer in Serie A last season. He was the decisive goal scorer in Inter's Champions League final 2 seasons ago. He is 28 years old, playing at the peak of his physical and technical powers. He wears the number 22 shirt for Argentina. He is Messi's most important attacking partner, the striker who makes runs that open space for the greatest player of all time, but who is also a finisher of genuine elite quality when the ball arrives at his feet. His penalty conversion rate across his career stands above 90%. His heading ability, despite being 5'9", consistently produces goals from set pieces that taller defenders consistently fail to deal with. Argentina are the defending champions. They have a squad capable of reaching the final again. More games, more chances, more goals. And in 2026, with Messi at 38 and managing his minutes, the goal-scoring burden may shift more toward Lautaro than it ever has before. That increased responsibility could produce a breakout individual tournament. Julian Alvarez, Argentina, age 26. Our final candidate is, in some ways, the most interesting case of all, because the numbers people cite about him often undersell the reality of what he does. Julian Alvarez is 26 years old. He wears number 19 for Atletico Madrid. He stands 173 centimeters tall. He scored 20 goals in all competitions for Atletico this season and was their top scorer across all tournaments, helping Diego Simeone's side reach the Champions League semi-finals, where they faced Arsenal across 2 extraordinary legs. He won the 2022 World Cup with one of the great individual tournament performances of recent years. 4 goals, including 2 extraordinary finishes against Croatia in the semi-final that stunned an entire press box. He scored in the final. He was 22 years old, and Argentina's second most important player at that tournament, behind only Messi. In 2026, he is 26, more experienced, playing more regularly, producing better club numbers than at any previous stage of his career. His goals to appearances ratio this season is the best of his career. His Champions League form, 10 goals, 4 assists, demonstrated that he can perform at the elite level against elite opposition. The argument for Alvarez comes down to one thing. He scores in the matches that matter. He scored against Croatia in the semi-final. He scored against France in the final. He does not disappear in knockout football, he elevates. And if Argentina reach the latter stages of the tournament, which they are entirely capable of doing, Alvarez will be at the center of their most important moments. So 5 candidates, 5 very different cases. Haaland has the qualifying record and the structural advantage of being the single most central striker to his team's attack. Mbappe has the track record, the current form, and the collective quality around him to score in every round. Kane has the Champions League numbers, the complete technical profile, and the best-supported England squad in a generation behind him. Lautaro has the consistency and a potential breakout tournament with increased responsibility. And Alvarez has the big game mentality and the defending champions around him. Our verdict, Kylian Mbappe. Not because Haaland is not a legitimate front-runner, not because Kane's case is not compelling, but because no player in the modern era scores more reliably at World Cups than Mbappe, and because his 2025-26 club season, La Liga Golden Boot, Champions League Golden Boot, makes him the most statistically dominant scorer entering the tournament. France will go deep, Mbappe will score. For the third consecutive time, Kylian Mbappe wins the Golden Boot. But if we are wrong, the player most likely to beat him is Erling Haaland. And the race between those two, in the group stage in late June, will be one of the great individual duels this tournament has ever produced. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Everything About Football for more analysis, history, and debate. The beautiful game in all its depth.